Start of the game not far away at the MCG. The two captains of the day, Warren Tredrea and David Neitz, shaking hand in the middle. We're about to see the toss take place. It's a special day for the Volunteers, getting a tribute today here from the Demons. But Warren Tredrea gets first blood, wins the toss, and will kick to the city end of the MCGs. We say good afternoon to Stephen Silvani.
Afternoon, Hutto, and that man on screen's been in fantastic form, having kicked 15 goals, and won't he have a bearing on the game today? And we see David Neitz, and got off to a slow start, played a poor game in his first game of the season, but has found some form over the last couple of weeks.
Well, let's check in on conditions, and Andrew Maher is boundary side. Good afternoon again, Andrew.
G'day, Hutto, again. The ground is magnificent, mate. It is a picture out there. They're expecting 18 as a top. It is 18 now. Showers are forecast. There's a few grey clouds around. There's times when the wind is howling to the right of screen. One of the Melbourne officials who has been here while they've had training sessions has declared that the scoring end. So keep an eye on that.
Okay, so a bit of wind around, and as we can see, still some sunshine at the moment. And Port Adelaide without some of their superstars. We know Primus missed much of last year anyway, so his absence can be covered by Brogan and Lade.
And Brogan really came of age last year, but I think today Stewie Dew has kicked 9 goals for Port this year. They'll really miss him, I think, up forward. But it's a real test for Port today. Their first game in Melbourne for the year, but coming up in a team in Melbourne that they've had real problems with, particularly here at the MCG over the last probably 3 or 4 occasions.
We can see the Melbourne players going to their positions, and there's going to be some interesting matchups to see who goes to who. Thurston's playing as a defender back there today.
And Wanganeen on Davey, of course, first cousin. So
Bishop to Neitz.
Yeah, Bishop to Neitz.
Yeah, the cousins against each other. There's Bishop and Neitz. Many thought that Wakeland would go to Neitz.
Well, Wakeland's going to Holland.
And Thurston's going to Miller. And at the other end of the ground, Rivers, there's Nicholson on Tredrea, and Rivers has the job on Lade. There's Holland and Wakeland. Just a little bit of rain threatening here at the MCG. Round 4. Melbourne versus Port Adelaide. Jeff White versus Brogan. Thompson. Carr, Cochrane, Kingsley. And now Schofield and Peter Burgoyne. Davey came flying through with the attempted tackle. Wilson. Demons trying to hunt numbers, but Port able to maintain possession. Boy, just racking up the touches. Not doing anything with them. In fact, after 10 touches, they've gone backwards so far. Wanganeen in trouble. Good tackling by Melbourne, who moved marginally into attack, but not for long. Corn's able to control it. Wakeland. Port Adelaide have had all the touches, and they're on the half-back line. It's amazing as the wind gusts up here at the MCG. To half-forward goes the kick. Bizzle, who's been so vital for the Demons, linking up with Brown, and now Wheatley, who's shown much improvement this year. Good attempt to mark by Holland. Couldn't take it. Montgomery takes them to the line. And we'll see a throw in.
And you mentioned Clint Bizzle there, Hutto. He's the man that Melbourne are freeing up in their defensive 50. Step to the other end of the ground, Kane Corns is picking up Adam Uzo, who's playing up forward.
attacking side of the wing for Melbourne. White gets it down. Chance at the back though. Well done, Cochrane. Just socketed it off the ground. Walsh controlled it very well in the end. Somehow got it to Bizzle. Cleverly got it out wide to Whelan. Now Thompson. Chance for the... Oh, gee, that was a poor kick. Kicked it straight into White. Port Adelaide another chance. Brogan. Undecided. He's gone. No, he got the kick away. Play on's the call. Whelan. Now a chance for the Demons. Bruce in some space. He can keep going, Cameron Bruce. Neitz wants it long. He handballs instead. Beautifully played. Miller can turn around and kick a goal. Dear me. Well, Miller was intent initially, Steve, on trying to give the handball back.
Yeah, he just hesitated. He had plenty of time. Well, he had the two players in board there in Bruce and also Davey, but really wasn't sure of himself in kicking that goal.
He misread the sign from Bruce, didn't he? Bruce was telling him to kick for goal. He was trying to give it back to him. Miller's had some trouble with his kicking this year already at goal. 2 goals, 4 for the season, make it 2-5 now. As Port try and bring it out of defence. Wilson's kick to the wing. Nicholson. Thompson. Gone. He went over the line, but he's going to be pinged first. And he won't be happy because he's going to say that it was over the line. Well, let's have a look. It's going to be a little hard to tell. Certainly the initial tackle. And then he was over at the end. How do you read that one, Mike?
I reckon it was a fair enough decision. I didn't think so initially, but certainly I think the umpire got it right. Wilson, Treadray, another stat. What a fantastic player he is. 30 marks so far in season 2004, 15 goals.
It's interesting, Nicholson staying back inside defensive 50 and obviously letting Treadray run up the ground, Steve.
Well, he's been their major goal kicker for the year, so Alistair Nicholson will be happy for Treadray to get his kicks up around the wing.
Peter Burgoyne, Wanganeen draws a player over the top. Chance for Kingsley. Kick inside, attacking 50, going back. Oh, good mark. Taken by Carr. And they worked it pretty well, did Port Adelaide, because Melbourne got the numbers back, Steve, but they waited, they were patient, and eventually Kingsley was able to find Carr.
It was a great kick by Kingsley and a brave effort there.
It was interesting. Wheatley was actually running with Treadray up the ground, so whether they're doing it as a joint operation, Steve.
Yeah, probably just have to see how this quarter pans out.
So a chance here for Carr from 40 metres. Drop putt across the face. Scrapes in for a behind, so two gettable opportunities, one for each side, the opening, and opportunities missed. Miller was perhaps the worst, kicking it out on the full from just 25 metres.
So Brad Green.
And we just see the Melbourne back line there, huddling at centre-half back.
They make their move now. Thompson with a target, but Treadray will get in front. And Carr, who's been prolific already for Port Adelaide, who is certainly getting plenty of the ball at the moment. Cassisi fires away into full forward. Almost the mark to Burgoyne. Cleaning up Rivers. Green was a little off balance, but was dexterous enough to get it to Bizzle, who had nowhere to go. Had to go very long and hard off his left boot in order to find Cameron Bruce, who led well. Had no initial long option. He goes somewhat scrappily inboard. They'll get out of trouble through Whelan. Down to the Corns, who's they battle. Now, Kane Corns has been in wonderful form this year, stopping some fine players, including Crawford and Cousins. That one called as a ball up. So Port with the opening score, as we've already mentioned, the wind will play havoc at times this afternoon. Robertson down to Green. Port with extra numbers back in Kingsley. He'll look for 50 there, but the umpire seemed to be awake to the fact that it is Logie's night tomorrow night, and there's sort of a bit of acting going on. Wanganeen along the boundary line. Port with plenty of numbers. Wilson's been busy early, so is Kingsley. To centre half forward, Treadray's coming, but Bizzle, who is wonderful reader of the play, chops it off.
Bizzle at half back, kick short. Wheatley wants to get on with it, thumps it long, inside attacking 50. Holland's all by himself. Now, Wakeland's got the job there, and he gave him a lot of latitude.
It was a great kick. He saw that Holland was loose, and the wind actually took that ball an extra probably 5 or 6 metres, and it was an easy mark to Holland.
Well, Ben Holland, an opportunity. Melbourne very inaccurate last week from 40 metres. This looks pretty good. Opening goal to the Demons. So Ben Holland kicking the first goal of the match. And, well, I don't know what Wakeland was doing there, Steve, because he was some 25 metres away from Holland.
Well, he got caught out, but this is the reason why Melbourne recruited Ben Holland, another tall target, just to take the attention off David Meats a fraction. And to have two key talls in Meats and Holland's side is a real bonus for the Demons.
Excellent start for Melbourne, and Ben Holland particularly. They take a 5-point advantage as Brogan on the second effort beats White and gets the clean ball out of the middle, but Walsh playing in front takes the mark in front of Poulton, who's playing as a forward today. Wanganeen and Davey, the joint targets. McDonald was wondering why he didn't get the direct short pass, but in the end he's able to deliver the ball into half forward. Wheatley sets it up for Neitz. Bishop couldn't get there. Well, Mark Williams putting his faith in Bishop today and really challenging him. But he's a hard man to get around, Steve.
Well, he is, and we see Bishop actually hit an arm there, did everything right, but David Neath, just so strong, was able to take that mark.
I mentioned earlier, he's got a wonderful record in recent times against Port Adelaide. 18 goals in his last 4. And it's a little wobbly, but it is dead straight. Confidence-wise, couldn't be a much better start for Neil Danaher's boys with goals to Neitz and Holland.
Well, particularly with these 2 tall targets kicking 2 early goals, a real bonus. It should bring a lot of confidence to the Melbourne midfielders to get the ball in nice and quickly, particularly into their forward half.
Let's go down to Andrew Mart. So, Andrew, just checking which way you reckon the wind's going.
Hutto, don't underestimate the start. It's definitely going to the right of screen. So this is a great start by Melbourne.
Certainly is. They've got 2 early goals. Now a chance for the power. Peter Burgoyne almost handballed it through Kane Corns, but his reflexes were good. Thumping kick towards full forward. Treadray, fist from Nicholson. Brown, Bizzle combined. Well done, Nicholson. Got it to Walsh. They're still under pressure, though. Walsh got it to Bizzle. Numbers with the Demons. Uze Wheatley, sweeping handball into the path of Green. Wants his left side. Kick towards Miller, who's got the sit. Thurston's with the job on Brad Miller. Robertson has been left unattended. Montgomery getting back on him. Thumping kick. Neitz. Robertson in from the side. Chance for Holland. Now a chance for Davey. Can he get boot the ball? No free kick. Robertson fighting hard for the Demons. And Port Adelaide do enough to tie it up. Deep in Melbourne's left forward pocket.
Well, just at the moment, the Port defenders under enormous pressure. Melbourne getting the ball into their forward 50 and fighting it hard to create a stoppage.
Robertson, who almost handed it to Davey. He was out of bounds, was he? Yes. Boundary throw in. Good start by Melbourne, kicking into a breeze. Neitz and Holland, the goals for Melbourne. Holland doing the ruck work. Carr missed it. Thompson. Now Schofield for Port Adelaide. And eventually a bounce. Jared Schofield and Ben Holland on the base of the pack.
You just see James McDonald at the back of the screen there. He's got the run with roll on Peter Burgoyne.
Got to be advantage for Melbourne here, doesn't it? Having Holland do the ruck work against Wakeland, Steve.
Yeah, well, he's there. He's big and strong. So
chance here for Thompson. Davey, left foot. He's home. Great stuff, Aaron Davey. What a start to Melbourne. Aaron Davey kicks his first. He kicked 2 goals, 6 last week. In a very impressive display, apart from the fact, of course, that he was inaccurate. But 8 opportunities at goal, and he started very well again this afternoon.
He has, and that's where Gavin Wanganeen just needs to watch himself. He does like to anticipate the ball. Gave Davey too much room, and he can hurt you.
Aaron Davey gets first blood against his cousin Gavin Wanganeen and gives the Demons a very handy 17-point advantage at the MCG. Kicking allegedly into the wind.
Against Green. Green came off the line.
Well, Kingsley quick to take the advantage out of the middle and give Treadray a terrific opportunity to get one back for Port Adelaide.
I can tell you, Neil Danaher be furious in the box. Give away an easy free kick like that. And Treadray, well, he's on the end of this, lining up for his first goal.
Warren Treadray, 3 goals is the most he's ever kicked against Melbourne. As we've mentioned, he's been in great form this year, 6, 5 and 4 so far. It's fair to say we're getting an indication of the kicking here. There's very little confidence shown in our boundary riders ability to judge the wind. But Treadray kicks away to the right and through for a behind. It is interesting because he clearly won the toss and decided to kick to that end, Michael.
Yes, he certainly did. Bizzle got it in the back pocket. Get some penetration with the kick. It was a great kick to Thompson. Miller runs hard for him. And Thompson, oh, Miller dropped the mark. Well done, Wheatley. Now a chance for Kingsley. Tucked up on the boundary line. Looking for Polton, couldn't take it. Now Melbourne take it away. Reed, scrappy old kick, but it finds its mark. Robertson.
Got one-on-one in the goal sweep.
He thumps it that way. Neitz versus Bishop. Neitz was held, was he? Yes. Steve, I was surprised that Wakeland didn't get the initial job on Neitz. The move's got to be made. I know we're in the early stages, opening quarter, but I think Wakeland is the best man for the job.
Well, obviously, Mark Williams has plenty of faith in Bishop, but David Neitz one-on-one. There's not too many better than him in that area in the competition. Probably equivalent to Fraser Garrick.
Coming in for goal number 2, David Neitz. Almost snapped the post in half.
Clearly the drop of the ball onto his boot then was affected by the breeze down here, boys, which is clearly favouring the right of screen.
Well, that's a bad miss. The Melbourne captain would have given the D's a very handy break indeed.
Short kick in from Kingsley is okay. Finds Schofield. But Melbourne certainly manning them up at the moment. One-on-one all over the ground. The sort of tactics that have brought Port unstuck in the past. Very wide kick from Schofield. Finds his man, Thurstons. Back to Bishop. Onto the wing. Montgomery gets help. And then it arrives in the form of young Ebert, who looks impressive. Off his left boot, gives it plenty. Bizzle's got to go. It went over his head. Lade came out. Couldn't hang on to it. Well done by Brown. Gives to Walsh. And the Demons trying to link up, although Bizzle had no support that time. And he's been pinged.
Yeah, great effort. Great effort to hold that ball in.
See the tackle from
He wasn't
Sean
carried
Burgoyne.
forward, no. He turned him just at the end. He did enough, Sean Burgoyne. Well played.
Coaches love that effort, that type of effort.
He's kicked 5 goals so far this year. Been handy rather than brilliant. We know he is very, very capable. Getting up towards the 50-game mark, so should be starting to move towards his prime. He's a highly skilled footballer, but even he couldn't find the middle there. Port's third behind. With the wind, Melbourne at 3-1-19.
Wheatley, loose player is Whelan. Chips to the wing. Bizzle did well, just held back Cochrane, allowed Brown to take it. Now they're away. Bruce drills the pass onto the chest of Holland. He thought about going on, he's been called to play on. Chipping forward, Green's made good position. Great running from Brad Green. He is a left footer, tucked in the left forward pocket, so he'll need to kick it precisely, but he is a beautiful kick of the football. He's got exquisite skills, Brad Green.
Just on their last couple of kick-outs, Melbourne have got the ball away far too easy. Port defenders or the zone just needs to tighten up a fraction.
Brad Green has kicked 6 goals for the year. From 30 metres. Oh, that's great stuff. Melbourne further in front. Well, they kicked 12 goals, 25 last week, the D's, and they're on the board 4-1 in the early stages, opening quarter.
Been a super start, and Brad Green, well, he's a player that Melbourne would be hoping would have a very, very good season. He's so talented, and we just see here by this kick straight through the middle.
Mark Williams has got his problems. His midfielders have been getting the ball out of the middle okay. 4 centre clearances to 0, in fact. And he looks at the scoreboard and sees the margin is 22 points. So a great start by the Demons into the win.
I reckon we could have a situation where the into the wind end has more scoring shots today, Hutto.
Well, at the moment, that is the case. Brogan just spiking the ball forward. Bizzle.
Had a good start to the game, Bizzle. 9 disposals already.
He's had a great start to the season, hasn't he?
Yes, continuing on from last year. Had a pretty good year last year as well.
4th and the best and fairest last year. Averaging 19 possessions a game so far in 2004. And he gets another one here. And it's well placed for Green, who also looks in good touch. Demons moving it wide but effectively. Miller, the target. Thurston's over the top. Robinson waited for Montgomery to tackle. Couldn't dispose as he would have liked. Reed a little sloppy. Advantage will be paid now, taken by Carr as it opens up through the middle. Wilson off the left. Didn't really look where he was kicking, but boy, did he hit a target. Treadray playing in front takes the mark and gets his second chance to have a shot for goal.
We just see the build up here. Just the kick to the hot spot in the forward 50. Treadray read it best.
Apologies to Wilson. Maybe he did look because he certainly found the leading Treadray. And this time Treadray does enough to sneak in a goal. So Treadray's first, Port Adelaide's first, and the margin is cut to 16.
Yeah, you just sense if Port are going to win this game, this fella on screen just needs to kick a bag full of goals. They rely on him heavily, particularly with Chad Corns out of the side. He's one of their team leaders. Big job for Nicholson.
Warren Treadray kicks his first of the afternoon. He kicked 4 last week, 15 and now 16 for the year. It's been an outstanding form. Back in the centre, Brogan. Clear first hand, well done. Ebert, Brogan followed it up. Treadray again. Well done, Nicholson. Put enough pressure on. Whelan. Coming out Brown. Still a chance though for the power. Chance in the pocket. Well played. Ebert, the left foot snap is good, is it? Another one to Port Adelaide. And after Melbourne certainly controlled the first 18 minutes of the match, the Power have hit back with 2 quick goals and have reduced the margin back to just 10 points.
Yeah, and Chris, how important is that kick out of the middle, particularly at the centre square bounce? They got it in nice and quickly. Treadray really should have taken the mark, but this young boy, Ebert, has had a pretty good start to the season, and that is a very classy goal.
So Brogan's made a great start in the middle. 7 hit-outs to 4. We mentioned they're dominating the clearances as well. Melbourne, real chance to go forward this time. Reed's kick gets them deep over the head of Miller. And Montgomery sees it over.
Mark Williams has made a significant room. Cochrane was actually playing in the forward line on Bizzle. It was more so like a negative role, a tagging role on Bizzle. That has changed now. Cochrane's gone and played on Bruce.
So here's Holland again with the advantage down to Davey. Just lost his footing and well read by Wilson, who got the kick. Schofield it was who got the kick away. So Port Adelaide just steadying a bit.
Bizzle lining up on Michael Wilson now.
Brogan in front, Green, Schofield, Peter Burgoyne, Godfrey, his tagger for the day. Umpire let it go for a long time, but then he paid the free. Port Adelaide's way. It's going to come back and go to Schofield. Adelaide makes a lead into the pocket. Treadray still back there.
Not much movement.
Treadray now starts to make a move. Nothing definite, just wanders into the pocket. He was held a little, but Rivers...
Well, he did well, Nicholson. He just held him off the ball and allowed Rivers to take the mark.
See, that ball looked as though it held up into the wind.
Did a little bit, didn't it? Can be deceiving, though. Little Rivers there coming through to take the mark. Done a terrific job in the first 3 weeks. Robertson was the target. Brogan again over the top. Kane Corns, Godfrey, Kingsley, Brogan. Good tackling by Robertson, but Burgoyne, is he within range?
Great kick.
Was a terrific kick, and it might have done enough. It has, it's a goal. The wind carrying it from outside 50, through for a goal, and Port Adelaide now within 4.
Yeah, it's been a good little fight back by Port Adelaide. They didn't look like they were in the game early in this quarter, but they've fought back. They've started to win some stoppages, and when this man gets the ball, he's very dangerous.
Great comeback from Port Adelaide. Melbourne kicked the opening 4 goals of the match, but the Power have responded, kicking the last 3. Margin just 4 points as we approach quarter time. Schofield gets it out again. Carr decides to kick on his non-dominant side and gets to Brogan.
They've had the last 3 clearances out of the middle, Port Adelaide.
Brogan, very crowded inside, attacking 50 for the Power. Doesn't know what to do. Gives it in. What's the easy option? Has to hand it off to Schofield, who drills it short. Chance now for the Demons. Miller, handball smothered by Carr. Well played. Now a chance out wide. Brogan again. He got it from Salapak. Now Schofield, can he keep it in? Yes. Well played by Jeff White, smothering it over the line. So good pressure there from the Demons. Still 2.5 minutes left to go in the quarter. Melbourne just need to consolidate in the midfield. And at the stoppages, Lade, first hand on the football. Godfrey, little fumble. Carr was good. Kingsley. Peter Burgoyne's got it again in space. He's dangerous, as we've mentioned, from 45. He measures the kick to the top of the goal square. Brogan.
What a quarter he's having.
Too tall. Dean Brogan has marked the top of the goal square, and this to put the Power in front incredibly. After they trailed by 22 points at the 17-minute mark.
What a great kick.
It was a great kick, and Peter Burgoyne's been one of the architects. Brogan kicked a couple of goals last week against the Hawks. Pops it through. The Power in front at the MCG. As we near on quarter time, and Dean Brogan, Steve, as you mentioned, has been fantastic.
Yeah, 8 possessions this quarter, kicked his first goal, but certainly has been one of the reasons why Port have fought their way back into the game and actually leading in this quarter. He's dominated out of the middle, and here, this is his value up for as well.
4 goals in 6 minutes to Port Adelaide, and they're not back in front. They are in front because it's the first time they've been in front for the afternoon.
Lade doing the ruck work now.
Great depth in their rucking department in the absence of Matthew Primus. Slade steps up now, takes over the reins in the middle and wins it straight down to Burgoyne, who's certainly getting busy. They're sharing it around. Cochrane back to Burgoyne. And now some run. Salopek. His delivery wasn't great. And Nicholson.
Real worries out of the middle for Melbourne. Port have had the last 4 clearances.
It's 7-1, in fact, out of the middle. Miller drives for half forward. Oh, Green, courageous. Vince tells him to wait on because Port have got lots of numbers back. Had to hold it up through the middle. Rigoni, little bull at the gate. Has to go in and get it again. Green was desperate but couldn't win the footy. White off the left, Miller. on the bounce. Now Bruce is within range. Had time to steady and time to find the middle. And give the Demons back the lead. Cameron Bruce, Melbourne's 5th goal kicker, joining Green, Holland, Neitz and Davey. And they lead by 4 points now. Brogan, Burgoyne, Treadray and Ebert, the goal kickers for Port.
Got a lot of talent, and if you look at the mark from Nicholson, a bit of pressure from Wilson. Good transference of play. Brad Green figuring again. Really making a name for himself. White again doing battle with Lade. White this time. Stolen though by Peter Burgoyne. Lost the handle. James McDonald. Good little tap out to Aaron Davey. You'll get the free kick. Much to the joy of the Melbourne fans here at the MCG. Davey wanted to keep going. Time enough for Melbourne.
Wanganeen, the free player back for Port Adelaide.
Chips out wide to Wheatley, who can kick the ball a long way. He kicks inside, attacking 50. Neitz and Bishop. Assistance provided by Thurstons, or high tackle there against Neitz. And the free kick will come up to Bishop. Matthew Bishop. One-on-one. Oh, Lade just went straight back on White. Carr and Reid, what a tussle that is. Couple of hard nuts there. Wheatley overruns it as the quarter-time siren sounds. Very entertaining game of football. Melbourne kicked the opening 4 goals. The Power responded with 4 of their own, only for Cameron Bruce to kick the goal at the 28-minute mark. The Demons by 4 points at quarter-time.
Yes, and Neil Danaher there, well, he'd be a little disappointed with his side. They certainly got off to a great start, and with Neitz and Holland firing up forward, but Port Adelaide, to their credit, fought back very well in that quarter.
Yes, a very interesting situation at the MCG. Melbourne lead by 4 after an entertaining opening.
Well, our suspicions, Hutto,
Yep.
have been realised.
He's certainly got no job to be forecasting weather.
No.
So second quarter, and it'll be interesting to see at both ends of the ground whether the coaches decide to make any changes as the game goes on. Bishop, the main matchup that we didn't expect, he on David Neitz. Neitz's opening quarter, just 2 possessions, but 1 goal, 1. And at the other end, Warren Treadray, 1 goal, 1, 4 possessions and 3 marks. We're underway in the second term, and it's the Demons who had the first chance to go forward. Dean Brogan back in the ruck. He's taken front position here against Jeff White. And Brogan able to rest the ball down. McDonald's kick out onto the wing. A chance for Green. Plenty of Demons running out of defence to provide help. That's good running though from Cassisi, putting the pressure on Brown.
Got Holland at centre half forward.
His kick would only just have travelled the required distance. Oh, Davey played on instantly. Somehow he sidestepped Wanganeen. He has got blistering pace. Great to see such acceleration. Delivery for Holland wasn't great, as it turned out.
We just saw the ball just drop short there.
Even though they're with the wind. Here's Burgoyne. Back to Montgomery. Had to get onto his right boot and just squeeze the kick out as a result along the line. Margin 4 points at the MCG. Early stages of the second quarter. Both these teams in excellent form this year, despite Melbourne dropping its first game in inglorious fashion to the Hawks. Brogan again playing in front, winning the tap down. Treadray off the left. He's usually pretty proficient in that area. Bizzle, courage as always. Gets support. Brown is great at providing. Wheatley through the middle, just adjusted the kick. Wilson over the top of Bruce. Play on. Melbourne fans wanted a free. Wilson got the ball. Brown goes in hard. Well won out though by Corns. Got it away to Carr. Up to full forward. Doubling back. Ebert takes the mark. In just his third game of AFL footy, he's shown the signs both last week and already in this match that he is a man of quality, which is no surprise, given the fact that he is the son of the great Russell Ebert.
And we just see his direct opponent there was Adam Uze, who's moved into defence, trying to break the tag.
Left footer, and he just stabbed at it a little. And misses. Port Adelaide go to 4-4-28. And Melbourne a 5-1-31.
Brett Ebert, still just 20 years of age. And that's what confronts Adam Uze as he looks towards the city end of the MCG. Taking plenty of time. Just the 15 metres to Brown. Chips to Wheatley. Manned up pretty well, Port Adelaide. Wheatley chips inside. Trying to break the play up. Whelan's loose. Kick to Walsh. Got to him on the bounce. Walsh now. Lead provided by Miller. That's a great kick from Walsh. Polton now on Miller.
Does present well, Miller.
Wastes no time inside. Attacking 50. Neats with the sit. He got back there. Wanganeen in the crumb. Combines with Bishop, who trying to get it to Polton. The boundary line too close. So a boundary throw in at left half forward for the Demons as we look at the Port Adelaide interchange bench. Marnie, Kingsley, Chaplin, Troy Chaplin making his debut for the Power this afternoon, and Stephen Salopek. Brogan, front position. Gets it down, still in dispute. Bruce finding hard, as is Thompson for the Demons. The ball up.
And Mark Williams be quite happy to see Adam Uze playing out of a goal square. He's actually playing on Ebert.
Thompson's kick went nowhere. Carr out wide for Cochrane. To centre half forward. Whelan's playing in front of Burgoyne. Reaps the rewards. Now McDonald. Into Miller. He's got the size and strength on Poulton, who scrapped pretty hard there. Montgomery cleans up for Wanganeen. They're suddenly back in their goal square. Burgoyne, Bishop, and now Wanganeen again, contriving to get them out of trouble. Carr. Thurston's a good strong lead onto the wing, but Carr wanted a better option. He can go short now and finds Montgomery. So they start to advance slowly. Again, they're pretty much manned up all over the ground. Tredrow the target. Nicholson right there with him. Brown. So not a lot going on in the early stages of this second quarter. Melbourne maintaining their lead by 3 points.
Tredrow, 3 marks in 5 possessions. Bruce did very well. Somehow got it to Walsh. Back towards Bruce. Pressure from Peter Burgoyne. Oh, brilliantly played by Cameron Bruce. Robertson dumps it long. Meets with the opportunity. Well, good pressure from Wakeland. Lucky not to give away the free kick. Well, Davey left it for White. Sold him in all sorts of trouble. Now Brogan. Cochrane. Peter Burgoyne with poise. Kicks beautifully to Thurston. They have indeed. Runners everywhere. Kane Corns chips towards Polton. And Polton, who's playing at half back on Miller, is able to drift down inside attacking 50 and has an opportunity here to put the Power back in front.
And you just take up to the build-up of that particular piece of play. The fist by Wakeland was a beauty. It travelled 30 or 40 metres, got the ball out of the danger zone, and that's where it all started from.
David Polton. Jared Polton, I should say. Kicks from 50 metres. That's an opportunity missed there.
David Polkinghorn. Green kicks in poorly. Well judged mark by Kane Corns. Is he within range? Kicked 17 goals, 20 for his career. Edging towards the 50 games mark in his short time at senior level. Playing his 48th game today. And the Melbourne fans behind the goals, you can hear their delight as he misses everything. So the game not reaching great heights just at the moment, Steve.
No, just obviously the conditions are very windy. No one's really got a run on at the moment. They're just sorting each other out.
Brad Green, thumping kick. Bizzle the leap at the back. Good mark taken by White. Thought about it. It's been called a play on. He has. Made a mistake there, Jeff White. Numbers, though, with Melbourne. Brogan's held up brilliantly by Whelan. Carr comes into assist. Still Melbourne with numbers. White tries to get it clear, but Port Adelaide do enough to tie it up.
Well done by Brogan there. He intercepted the handball. He kept it in there. That type of play just puts enormous pressure on the opposition defenders.
Port Adelaide dominating time in possession. Jeff White just had to get back from the mark there. James McDonald, good tackle from Carr. Kept his arms free, so he was able to get the handball out. Lade. Walsh with the pressure. Well done, Lade. Peter Burgoyne. Inside attacking 50. Treadray with the sit. Fist from Nicholson. Beautifully done. Thurstons. A snap at a vacant goal square is home. Thurstons has kicked Port Adelaide's 5th goal and put them back in front here at the MCG.
Well, it's a great kick by Thurstons, but you've got to go back to the Brogan effort where he calls the ball up, he calls the intercept, gave him another chance to set up, and that's what results from it.
Thurstons kicks the goal to give Port the lead again. Thurston started in defence, so he's been pushed forward. Poulton, of course, now with the job on Miller. Out of the middle, White getting his hands to the ball, but the result doesn't change. Carr emerging with it. Burgoyne, Whelan, who's played a slashing game off halfback so far. McDonald, Green claps the hands, waiting for it to come, and then delivers onto the half-forward flank. Oh, Miller had it spent. Carr again, who's been terrific. Montgomery goes for Treadray. Hard man to stop. Free kick. Wants to move it quickly. Got laid deep on Rivers. Steps around Nicholson. Ebert's down there with Uze as well. Rivers must get a free kick. Uze leading for Rivers, but he goes wider than that. Finds McDonald. White the target on the wing. Well-placed kick for him too. Wanted to give it to Davey, and why wouldn't you? Into half-forward, his delivery is spot on. And once again, Miller didn't trust himself to have a shot. Not a bad option to go to Brad Green because he rarely misses. You would hope that a key forward, when he takes the mark 40 metres out from goal directly in front, would have the confidence to have a shot, but he gave it to a pretty good man.
Well, he did, and we just see the effort there by Rivers in front, got the free kick, and that's where the build-up started from. Melbourne used the ball so well. Davies' pass there was a beauty, and if you're going to lay the ball off, I guess you'd lay it off to Brad Miller, who's such a magnificent kick.
Brad Green has 2. And centre breaks. Domination there by Port Adelaide. Melbourne, though, lead by 2 points. Back in the centre, Brogan gets it forward. Walsh tries to crash his way through. Is taken high. Did it very well. Just slid down a little bit in the tackle. McDonald, who's getting a lot of it. Long inside attacking 50. Holland. Oh, he got it. Bounced off his chest. Chance for Robertson. Snap over the shoulder. Is it home? Just offline. So a rare centre break there for the Demons, and they almost were able to capitalise with a goal. They lead by 3 points.
Out wide from the kick in. Bishop for Wanganeen. 6th possession for the day. To half forward Wheatley to put the pressure on. He did that well. Marnie couldn't take it. Great to see Josh Marnie out there after a long path to get another chance at AFL footy. Recruited from St Kevin's, then the Western Jets, Williamstown, Collingwood, the Bulldogs, Essendon VFL, then back to Williamstown, and now again with Port Adelaide. Demons going forward. Oh, well taken again from Miller, who's been very good across half forward. This time to Robertson. He fires away and misses. And Miller has taken 5 marks.
Yes, playing at centre half forward. Just presenting very well every time the ball's coming up the ground.
Bishop out wide. Montgomery just props. Loose player on the wing. Well played. Wilson drives it low and hard. Straight to Wheatley. Awesome treatment from Marnie, but Wheatley was able to stand firm. He's away. Delivers to the wing poorly. Wilson outnumbered. Brilliantly done by Thompson. Just trapped the football. Allowed Holland in. Now White. Plenty of time, Jeff White. Uses Uze, who drills it low and hard towards Davey. What a tussle that's been. Wanganeen and Davey. Great tackle from Davey. Did he throw the football? Umpire McBurney, no. Throw it in's the call.
To see the clangers stat there, Melbourne 18, Port Adelaide 10.
White gets it down towards Thompson. McDonald, that was brilliant. Left foot inside attacking 50. Bruce, no, not paid. Port Adelaide under extreme pressure. Neitz tries to keep his arms clear. Davey fighting hard. Eventually they clear at the power. Schofield, free kick advantage paid. Kicks it out wide. Shaw Burgoyne, who's been quiet, can't get around Uze. Now Brogan links up with Kingsley.
Got numbers inside.
Well, they did wonderfully well to get out of it there. Schofield to Wilson. He's almost within range if he had it gone. Hesitation. Gets it long into the square. Thurston's Lades in the middle of it all. Ground level Nicholson. Cassisi dispossessed. Marnie over the top of it. Being penalised.
It's tough. I think that's a tough call.
Had a tough initiation here, Marnie, with Wheatley taking a couple of marks on him. And then he dived on the ball here. So it's Brad Green for the Demons. They lead by 4. Umpire lets it go. Wasn't sure which way to pay it. Whelan takes it, streams towards goal. Long to the goal square. Meets one. Couldn't get the second. And the umpire lets it flow. The Demons increased their lead marginally, and it's up to a 5-point lead now.
Kicked the last 3 behinds, Melbourne. Bishop searching for Montgomery and gets him in front of Robertson. Comes inside to Peter Burgoyne, whose brother's free, just forward of the wing, Sean. Taking his time, kicks to the lead of Treadrate. Well, it was a great kick. Nothing Nicholson could do there. And an opportunity for Warren Treadrate to put Port Adelaide back in front here at the MCG. He'll need to kick this from just outside 50.
They've had trouble kicking goals from this position today.
They've been losing it to the right. Here's a thumping kick. Comes in. It'll land in the goal square. Brogan, oh, he got hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Margin back to 4 points in favour of the Demons.
Been a good duel, the Nicholson Treadrate duel. Treadrate 6 disposals, Nicholson 4, Treadrate only the 1 goal.
Wheatley up to 10 possessions now. 3rd highest for the Demons. Uze's been very quiet. Only his 4th touch, as we mentioned. He's been forced back into defence. Rivers. Bizzle. Well-placed kick for McDonald. Got some attention from Kingsley, who did that pretty well. Rigoni dragged down by Treadray. And the Demons give it up. Josh Carr, the #1 ranked player on the ground, 12 possessions. Peter Burgoyne's had 13. Make it 14. Thurston's presenting and taking the mark in front of Bizzle.
Great hit out by Lade.
Out wide, they're running down the ground, Port. Good delivery for Cassisi, coming to half forward. And the umpire now calls for a bounce. It was young Troy Chaplin, the young man who came into the team.
You just see Cassisi there on screen. He believed he took that grab. Could consider himself a little unlucky.
Amazing story. Troy Chaplin was set to play SANFL reserves this weekend, but instead when Corns withdrew, he's playing AFL seniors.
Incredible. That is incredible. Well, yes, David Neat's gone missing. I just wonder whether Neil Danaher should bring him up to centre half forward and just leave Ben Holland in the goal square by himself.
Good bounce by umpire McBurney. Lade gets it down, fighting hard at ground level. Is Jared Rivers, of course, the Rising Star nominee last week, Jared Rivers, for the Demons and their win over the Western Bulldogs. Lade to do battle again with White. Lade got it down, but Corns was immediately wrapped up by Brad Green, who's been very good this afternoon. He's kicked a couple of goals in the midfield. White this time gets it out. Green scrambles it forward towards the centre of the ground. Davey, let's see some magic here. Great tackle from Wanganeen. Wilson, good pressure from Reid. Bounce.
Tackling's been pretty good today. Both teams.
Been very tight and tough. Wanganeen and Davey. It's been an enthralling battle.
Bit of speed there.
Oh, and talent. Late again. Gets it out now. A chance for Wanganeen, who read it from the pack very, very well. Off to Kingsley. Just chips it up. Uze had enough time to make a metre or two on Ebert and thump it over the boundary line.
A good spoil by Uze. Went through with the spoil. Just let him know next time Ebert goes for the ball, he's going to know.
Waiting for a throw in. Rigoni is now tagging Josh Carr. So the hunter has become the hunted. Reid on Wilson. Carr trying to get onto Green here and stop him from escaping. And he does that pretty well without giving away the free. Rigoni just rushing it forward. Miller's been good. Good fist that time. Keeping it out of his clutches. Ooh. Robertson up to full forward. Bruce is clear. Got away from Cochrane. And a very important kick coming up for the Demons here.
Great play by Brad Green as well. He kept the ball in front of him, kicked it off the ground, kept the ball alive. And we see here Bruce, just a quick kick in, had yardage on his defender, was able to take an easy mark.
Well, Cameron Bruce kicked 2 goals in each of the last 2 matches. He's already got 1 today. So he's keeping his form up. His second stretches the margin to 10.
Good play from Robertson. When you're under pressure, just get it on your boot and kick it forward as quickly as you can. And he was able to do that, and well read by Cameron Bruce. Melbourne lead now out to 10 points. Just 3 goals kicked in this second quarter, 2 of them to Melbourne. margin out to 10 points. They're absorbing the pressure that Port Adelaide are applying. Lade and White do battle again. Lade, thumped forward by Reid. Walsh just scrambles it forward. Miller comes to meet it, who's been very good. Wanganeen mopping up. Corns, oh, did he get it away in time? Davey almost, high tackle on White. Perhaps a little lucky, he just slipped over, and Wilson had the arm around the neck. So Jeff White, who is a thumping kick, will kick from about 55 metres. Melbourne kicked the opening 4 goals of the match. Only to have Port Adelaide respond with the next 4. It's been very tight ever since. That's a great kick. Has it got the distance? No, just off hands for a point. So Melbourne a little wasteful in this second term. Margin out to 11 points.
Mind you, they have been pretty good at the set shots compared to Port Adelaide. Melbourne have kicked 4 goals, 2 now he's out of the square. And so we're going to see a ball up.
I've never seen that where the player actually steps over the line, Steve, but doesn't actually kick it. So does that mean it's a bounce?
I don't know. I'm not too sure on the ruling there. He actually wasn't called play on.
No, well, the umpire must know that must be the ruling. He surely wouldn't make a simple mistake like that. Bishop kicks it out. Bruce showed it to them. Interesting drop of the ball into full forward. Fluky bounce. Holland still had a chance. Montgomery wasn't going to give him any.
Yeah, I just questioned that, Hutto, whether he brought the ball back into play or not.
Yeah, well, we'll try and check on the ruling on that, Steve. But as I said,
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
You would think the umpire would know the correct ruling in that situation.
Wakeland's got it. I thought Wakeland would get the job on Neitz, but it went to Bishop instead. Wakeland's had the assignment on Ben Holland. He's done pretty well after Holland kicked an early goal. Just kicks it short to Carr. Carr coming in for possession, number 13 for the Power. And as the clock ticks down.
Good play by Melbourne here, forcing them to kick the ball down the line.
Will be a very short quarter, just the 3 goals kicked. Carr kicks long to a contest. Laid in from the side, Montgomery at the back. Rigoni read it best. Loose player is Green. Green's had a lot of it. Coming in for possession, number 17, Brad Green. Chips it back, Rigoni. Winds up, thumps it long to the top of the goal square. Neitz is back, good fist. Oh, brilliantly done. Brown kicks another one. Nathan Brown took it off the pack and rammed it through. So Melbourne extend their lead to an even 3 goals. And apart from a 4 or 5 minute lapse deep in that first quarter, Steve, they've really played exceptional football.
They have, but great play by Rigoni and also Brown. Obviously, this is a bit of their game plan because Brown read that perfectly. He knew he was going to go long. Neitz was always going to bring the ball down, and Brown read it to perfection.
According to the umpires down here, boys, this is the correct application. Once he hasn't touched the boot to ball to boot, and steps out of that square, he's fair game, play on, correct call, the bounce.
Okay. Andrew Marr there with his interpretation of the rules. Let's hope it's better than his interpretation of the wind.
Hey, that's straight from the umpire's mouth down here too, by the way, so I'm claiming nothing.
8-6 to 5-6. Last minute of the first half, and what a great quarter it's ended up being for the Demons here, Steve. This is a very handy advantage.
They looked a little rusty early, but they've just worked their way on top, starting to win a bit more of the ball around the stoppages.
Well, they are. Now they're 18 to 13 in favour of Port at clearances around the ground. Not as significant as a margin as it was earlier. Uze to half forward. They've been busy up forward, haven't they? Robertson's been dangerous. Holland's played his part. Rigoni, they're streaming forward again. Oh, one more would have been so handy before the break.
They had plenty of time to steady there. Just wondering whether he had the voice of his teammate next to him. At least another 3 or 4 steps he could have taken.
Close to half-time, Melbourne by 19 points. They're led by 4 at quarter-time. Thumping kick. Almost a clever mark to Wakeland. Whelan head down. Rigoni somehow got it out wide to Uze. playing by himself on the southern wing. Chips towards Robertson. Good pressure from Chaplin and forces the ball over the boundary line.
Russell Robertson, 7 possessions, 1 mark. He's kicked a couple of behinds only. Found it more difficult to find the goals this year, last year's best and fairest winner, but playing a slightly different role with Miller, the permanent centre-half forward. He goes again. Time beats him that time. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving to end the half. Port perhaps just trying to change the momentum, give them something to go into the break with. It looks like things have cleared okay now. And at half-time, the Melbourne fans will give their team a very warm reception indeed. They lead 8-7-55 to Port Adelaide. 5-6-36 at the major break at the MCG. We're ready to go. Second half, Dean Brogan's put in a commanding performance in the ruck. Jeff White charging in, but Brogan feeding it down. Carr got a foot to it. Green's been one of the best on the ground. That went backwards. And finally, with his second possession, they can start to move towards the forward line. Uze been very well restricted by Corns. Off his wrong side, he finds Bruce, and the Demons continue to play well. Into White. Nicholson is well up the ground. But we can see Thompson taking the mark. McDonald, wide. Play on was the call. Treadray, Nicholson's opponent, trying to spoil. Holland in good shape to mark, but not as good shape as Darryl Wakeland. And he uses Peter Burgoyne on the way out. Cross to Bishop. Striding away confidently from Neitz, despite the pursuits of the Melbourne full forward. Onto the wing, Uze and Corns going at it again. Uze towards the line. Uses Nicholson, Treadray and Carr there to crunch him. White to lend a hand. Treadray feeds it through nicely. They're away. Gavin Wanganeen charging towards goal. Lovely work from Wanganeen, but he just missed. And Rivers takes it. It's going to be, if Wanganeen is as aggressive as that, it's going to be interesting to see if Neil Danaher will allow him just to play on Davey.
Well, he does set up a lot of drive, but he'll need to watch Davey on the rebound.
Big opportunity here for the Demons. Brown from half-back. Bruce. Good contest. Sean Burgoyne. Picked up, beautifully done by Reid towards Holland. Good fist coming from Wakeland. Kingsley gave it straight up to Bruce. Demons a chance. Reid, good handball. Robertson somehow tries to manufacture a kick at goal and is offline. And it's interesting, all games played between these two clubs at the MCG. Melbourne have won each encounter, and at half-time they've led by 31 points, 28, 16 and 28. So they've had nice leads at the long break, and that is the situation again today.
Peter Burgoyne streaming through the middle. Delivers to half forward. Ebert couldn't take the mark. Carr out wide for Thurstons. Over the top, here's Carr again. Just popped the ball up.
Great kick.
It was a good kick. And again, the young man, Ebert, can line up for goal.
Yeah, great kick by Carr. Just had to wait it to perfection. And just watch him just put it over the top of the Melbourne defenders. Ebert did the rest.
So Ebert lining up. And he's got his second comfortably. And Port get the first one of the second half.
As we watch this again, Josh Carr just keeping his eyes on the football, and a good looping handball back to Carr, who kept going from Thurstons. And, well, Ebert is creating some havoc down there. Uze's got the job on him, and I wonder whether Uze wouldn't be better utilised in a more creative midfield role. Back in the centre, White to do battle with Brogan. Ineffective ruck play. Chance McDonald was very busy during the second quarter. No prior opportunity there. The bounce. Melbourne led by 4 points at quarter time, by 19 at half time. Now by 14. Brogan decisively. Bruce. Awkward looking kick towards half forward. Coming to meet at Wanganeen. Fantastic handball. Schofield. Ebert again on the lead. This time Uze does very well, but Carr roved it. Back to Ebert. Great combination by Port Adelaide. Drills the pass towards Thurstons. Kane Cords front and centre. Runs to 50. Drives it long. Has it got the carry? It has. Goal to the Power. So Kane Corns stepped inside 50. What a great finish.
Oh, it was a great finish, but once again, Josh Carr heavily involved in that goal, up on the wing, very composed. And Kane Corns, well, now he's tagging Brad Green and has got him on the rebound. A very handy goal.
Well, Mark Williams' players have responded at the start of the second half. Margin back to 8. Green gets them out of the middle. Davey and Wanganeen go at it again. Poulton, very aggressive. Reid likewise. Melbourne needs something. Whelan get the half forward. Robertson goes to ground. No free kicks paid either way. Green, oh, well played, but he just couldn't get the result he needed. Hits the post. Brad Green, dominant player on the ground, 21 possessions, has kicked 2 goals, 1.
Yes, Kane Cords just starting out of the goal square when there is a centre square, ball up and going to Green in general play.
Bishop, thumping kick. Thompson in from the side. Chance for White. Pressure coming from Carr. Jeff White. Coming out towards Robertson, who tripped over. Burgoyne, that was Peter. Good little touch. But eventually Melbourne are able to tie Brogan up and get a bounce the attacking side of the wing for the Power. Jeff White has battled manfully against both Brogan and Lade for the duration of the afternoon. Thompson's led some assistance. Carr has been very good in the early part of this third quarter. White. Green. Brogan read that he was trying to get into his left boot, but he got it out to Whelan. Now McDonald, Melbourne building. Holland breaks for him. That's the direction the kick takes. Wakeland in the fist. Kingsley should try and sock it. Reid did well to bring the ball back towards Holland. Fighting hard, Ben Holland. Handball now to accommodate Brown. Under pressure. Oh, just fends Wanganeen off. Still in space. Beautifully done. Bruce kicks another one. They needed that, the Demons. The Power had started this third term impressively. They needed that just to stabilise the situation.
Yeah, they did. Great little handball by Holland to work that out. Brown rode the tackle, was able to get it out to Bruce, and Bruce does the rest. 3 goals, a fair day for Cameron Bruce.
Interesting to note at the bottom of screen there, Tredrea and Nicholson. Tredrea coming off the wing, a free kick picked out here, centre square infringement taken by White, into Bruce. Maybe too far out to score, maybe he's a chance, doesn't try. Wasn't a well-directed kick. Wakeland leading Holland to the ball. Burgoyne. 18th possession coming up, second only to Brad Green on the ground. Green with 22 now. Brogan the target, an up and under kick. White had to go hard, did well. Kingsley off the left, hooks it around the corner. Wilson, Ebert. And again, just the 4 possessions for Ebert. But he's kicked 2 goals, 1 now. He's in fact gone up to 6 possessions. 2 goals, 1, so he's been very effective. Brogan in front, winning the tap. Dominant performance in the ruck. Carr, now he dragged it under that time. The umpire fairly lenient.
Very lucky.
Melbourne players not too happy with Steve McBurney. Brogan. Wheeler. Been a very good player for Melbourne today. Wanganeen. Burgoyne. One-on-one through the middle. Bizzle versus Thurstons. He backed himself in. He had support from Brown. Streaming out of the fence. Gives it to Davey. Everyone gets to the edge of their seat and watches Aaron Davey in motion to full forward. Bruce Robertson. They crash the pack. Well played, Cochrane. Cleared a path. And Jared Poulton could kick it onto half-back. And maybe Port can go from here. Courageous mark taken by Salopek. They're screaming for it on the other side of the ground. The switch is on, and now they can go. Wanganeen, who's Davies' opponent, takes the mark. The Demons able to hold them up in their tracks.
And this is what Melbourne have to do. Just hold Port up, put him under that pressure.
Montgomery, sweeping handball. Kingsley, look out. Gets away from Reid, delivers perfectly. Carr wants an option, thumps it long inside, attacking 50. Treadray going back, but Green, he's done it everywhere today. Brad Green in from the side, uses Uze, chips out wide. Jeff White. Now a loose player is Whelan, all by himself on the northern wing. He's away. Miller breaks for him, but in front of that, well done by Reid. Oh, Miller dropped back. Reid needed to get it to him. Instead, he goes for Neitz. Well played, Philip Reid. I thought for a moment he missed an opportunity because Miller snuck back inside attacking 50 and was 20 metres into clear, but he played it more directly to David Neitz, who's kicked one from 35 metres. You saw the result, so disappointing kick from the captain. 1 goal to David Neitz' tally this afternoon.
Yes, only the 3 disposals for the day.
Saw the stat on the screen a few moments ago. The clearances have really evened up. Port Adelaide 20, Melbourne 18. The Port were dominant in that area earlier on. They're finding it hard to get a clear path out of defence here, but patience. They switched right towards the boundary line. Brogan and Carr been wonderful in this quarter particularly, but very solid for the whole match. His 20th possession coming up.
He's having a big quarter, Carr.
It was a hurried one as it turned out. To Brogan. Back to Burgoyne. Again, Melbourne have got lots of numbers back. Hence the slow build-up. Corns popped it up into the pocket. And one of those numbers, Paul Wheatley, takes the mark.
The Power just struggling to find a target across their half-forward line. They just don't present from that area.
Forced to go short, and that might be okay. It opens up a loose man through centre half back. Rigoni, long and direct to centre half forward. Green's got to go, and he did that comfortably. Shrugged off Schofield, got some protection from Reid, and Neitz is away again. Only needs half a yard, and there's no stopping him if the delivery is good, and it certainly was then.
Well, you would love to be on the end of this kick.
Brett Green is a star.
Melbourne have taken 17 marks in the quarter compared to Port's 10 as David Neitz comes in. And once again, he lets an opportunity pass. David Neitz' day now, 1 goal, 3.
Carr and Peter Burgoyne prominent in this third quarter. 7 possessions each. Laid off, that was brilliant. Carr now uses Wilson. Now a chance for Montgomery. He runs off half back. Kicks it short. Ebert. Rivers attending to Ebert at the present time. Long to the top of the goal square. Where's Treadray? He's at the back, but in from the side. Wheatley. They're doing it well, the Demons. McDonald. Brown, who's run hard from half back all afternoon. Loose player on the wing. Miller. Davey trying to create, make some space. Wanganeen couldn't get there. Davey was brilliant. Where will he go? Holland wants it long. Back to Green. Don't tell me he'll kick another one. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Neats! Port Adelaide get it through.
Sauce, you've got to love the way Melbourne's been running the ball out of the back line. They just do it so cleanly.
Well, they're getting numbers back, and that's really evident in this quarter. Every time the ball's gone to the Port forward half, Melbourne have had numbers, and they're using the ball by hand and foot.
Wakeland marks the kick in. This game has really stepped up in this third quarter. Onto the wing, Thurston's good spoil from Bizzle. Hemmed in, uses Montgomery, as they so often do, to Treadray. Ebert Bates back in the square. Burgoyne as well. Rivers from the side. Looks like he's gone on to Ebert.
That's one of the real areas they've been very good today, Melbourne. Their support to get back and help their defenders.
After opening up with 5 goals, 1 in the opening quarter, Melbourne kicked 3 goals, 6 in the second term and have added 1 goal, 5 in the third. So inaccurate kicking really costing them. Azuze finds Nicholson. They kicked 12-25 last week in their 10-point victory over the Bulldogs. Nicholson, Rigoni in a nest of Port Adelaide players. Did it Corley, Whelan. Wheatley provides the run from half back. Drives it long towards Davey and Wanganeen. Montgomery did very well taking it off hands to Wanganeen. Now Carr, another possession for him. Kane Corns running through half back long towards half forward. Ebert did brilliantly. He's dribbling it goalward. Offline. Good example there. Ebert waited at the front of the pack, Steve. Rivers went back trying to take the mark.
Well, he did. He actually had his teammate just trying to block his teammate from taking that ball. So, listen, he had to go for the ball.
The kick in, straight to Treadray, lays it off to Burgoyne. They reset up to full forward. Selipek, spectacular. Gave away the free. Advantage taken by Wheatley. Hasn't he been terrific for the Demons? To Brown, who can break through the middle. White could be a target, or Robertson. Loves to take them on the chest. He can go over to Brown, who's loose on the wing. He's got space to work, and Neitz is back in the square. Surely he'll just go long to him. Long to the captain, who's got away.
Yeah, it's probably one of the hardest things one-on-one as a defender when the opposition player is carrying the ball. You've got to anticipate basically which way he's going to kick that ball, get body contact. On that occasion, Bishop failed to get that body contact on Neitz.
1 goal, 3. We'll see if he's finally learned his lesson at that end of the ground. You can tell he has. And the Demons maintaining this handy almost 4-goal advantage, 10-12 to 7-8.
Yes, and Melbourne finding their key forwards in this quarter, where Port just can't find a forward to mark inside their forward 50. That is a great kick. Well done.
Margin out to 22 points. The biggest lead of the match. The same lead, in fact, that Melbourne had at the 17-minute mark of the first quarter. Brilliant interception from Nicholson. Inside attacking 50, Robertson and Montgomery. Neitz, creative. Reid somehow tried to pull it back. Neitz in good position. Second chance for Reid. Green under the pump. Numbers winning out for the power there. Although good pressure applied by Godfrey. I think Melbourne did very well in that situation. They were outnumbered and they managed to force a boundary throw in.
Now, Michael, Treadray is starting off the wing at centre square bounces. He just seems to be caught in no man's land. The ball is bypassing him at the moment.
Seems bizarre. Positioning is laid through the legs of Kingsley. Godfrey, here's another opportunity for the Demons. Davey! You're ready to kick a goal! He's off, he's been called to play on! Well, he took one step.
Well, he did.
He took one half step.
He did.
Let's watch it again.
I'll tell you now, though, He does play on, there's no doubt, but he gets the call from Robinson. Should have never recalled.
Yeah.
Let him go back and have a kick.
Should have been penalised for holding the ball too, really, but not that it really matters. But if it's a one-point ball game, it might. Bruce takes the mark. Yeah, memories of Jeff Palmer playing on and handballing to Gary Lyon one day at full forward. Kingsley takes the relieving mark. Montgomery goes to the bench. We'll get an update on that from Andrew Marsh shortly. Meantime, Carr. 23rd possession. Laid the target. He cleared the path, as it turned out, for Schofield, who gets them inside 50. Bizzle back to the wing. Mark taken by Rigoni through the middle. Reed.
Oh, good running.
Uze off his wrong boot. Controlled it out in front of Neitz. He takes it. Wanted to lay it off. They were lining up. Godfrey not sure about having a shot. Uze doesn't mind the chance to kick it. And the Demons are hot.
Well, great running from the Demons. Out of their back half. Neitz just slaps away his direct opponent. And Uze, he is a great kick. And that is a great goal from the Demons.
Great running goal by Melbourne, and Mark Williams would be concerned.
Let's get to Andrew Marr for some other concerns for Mark Williams.
The first injury of the day, Hutto, to Brett Montgomery. It's just the bottom of the left thigh they're looking at, and he's in a bit of pain.
Whelan hacks it forward. Coming to meet at Wanganeen. Slipped the handball to Schofield. Now Polton. He uses Kane Corns. Port Adelaide need to produce something here as Kingsley marks on centre wing. Pumps it long inside attacking 50. Treadray and Nicholson. At the back, Sean Burgoyne, who's been very quiet. Still got it. Trick beautifully done to Treadray. Just chipped it over the top. Great poise there shown by Sean Burgoyne, who for a moment looked as though he was going to be tackled, but he slipped the tackle, steadied, and was able to deliver to Treadray.
I know he plays a difficult position, Sean Burgoyne, Steve, but does he do enough?
Well, he's got so much talent. We've seen him kick a number of goals, but he's a player that Port really do need to step up this year. I mean, they've lost a number of players through injuries. They've lost Franco, who's out for the season. But they're the type of players that Mark Williams is really depending on, that they keep improving.
Well, you just saw Treadray's stats. Been relatively quiet, but he's still taken 7 marks, coming in for possession number 11 and goal number 2 for the Power. So Treadray has broken a run of 3 consecutive Melbourne goals, and the margin is back to 23 points. As we watch it again, a good penetrating kick there from Kingsley, and Sean Burgoyne was able to keep his feet, slip the Uze tackle, and just deftly chip it over the top to get to Treadray. So a good finish from Warren Treadray for his 2nd goal.
There's Brett Montgomery. Margin now 23 points at the MCG. It's been a very entertaining 3rd quarter. White feeding it out for Godfrey. Generating some ball out of the middle. Wheel on a high kick. Tough one. And Kingsley right up to it. He's a great story for persistence and belief. Kingsley, after being given the flick over summer first of all by Port Adelaide, refused to give in. Another terrific mark from Wheeler. Out to Reed. Had a couple of teammates flying by on the left, but decided to wait, looking for better options. Probably didn't find one in the end. Poulton, Kingsley, and now Schofield. Rigoni with a good tackle. It was pretty effective.
Oh.
Heavy body work done by Burgoyne and Godfrey.
Good effort on both.
Great stuff, wasn't it?
Kingsley has a rest, and Cochrane enters the fray at the MCG. Cassisi coming on for Port Adelaide, through the middle. Carr, out wide for Lade, up to full forward. In front, Nicholson. He's had 3 marks for the day, 7 possessions, and has done a relatively good job on the very dangerous Warren Treadray as Brown delivers for Miller, and Miller takes the mark.
He's been impressive, Miller.
He certainly has. Off to that man, Brad Green, the best player on the ground. He's a wonderful kick. Pumps it long. Neats it in the middle of the pack. Can't take the mark. Cochrane's wrapped up by Neats, and no prior opportunity there, so a bounce 25 metres from the Melbourne goal. Well, 24 scoring shots, Melbourne, 16 to Adelaide. As we look at the clearances
That's
for the
turnaround.
quarter. Gee,
That's a big turnaround.
Wakeland tries to knock it clear. Bruce can't get clear, so another bounce. And I was saying 24 scoring shots to 16. Margin just 23 points. Melbourne should be further in front as we enter the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Can they steal another one here, the Demons? White. Robertson somehow, one-on-one, Neats works his way to the front. Bishop intent on feeling for body contact, and while he was trying to do that, a neat little sidestep from David Neats to get around and get the front position.
And great effort by Robertson there. Just a quick kick onto the boot. A forward always expects the ball to come in quickly. Neats got the advantage on that occasion.
Makes it 11-1 for clearances for the quarter.
He's kicked 2-3. Now he's kicked 3-3. Melbourne by 29 points. So David Neats, 2 goals in his third term, has really led the way for Melbourne. But gee, he's been really handed a great feed from his midfield, who have really got on top.
Well, they've turned it around. Plenty of opportunities for Melbourne forwards. And David Neats on the end of this one.
Well, Neil Danaher would be well satisfied with his team's position at the moment. They've taken the ball inside 50 in this quarter 15 times to 12. They've had 17 possessions inside their forward 50 compared to 4 for Port Adelaide. Again, there's a free kick and infringement at the middle.
Now, the crowd saw something, Dan. I wonder whether someone may have been pushed in, because the crowd was not very happy with that free kick.
Burgoyne takes it and instantly delivers to half forward. Didn't get the result he wanted. Ben Holland now back in defence, blasting away. Out to the wing, Whelan has been one of Melbourne's best. Linking up with Jeff White, not a noted goal kicker. Off the left, he goes for Neats instead. Not sure about the wisdom of it, getting the position of David Neats here.
And once again, Hutto, Port actually took the ball inside their forward 50, but didn't get a possession.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, they've taken the ball inside 13 times now for only 4 possessions inside their forward 50.
And that's the angle
in this quarter. David Neats, we know he's had some trouble at this end particularly. 3 goals, 3 for the day. And didn't come too close that time. 12-14-86 to 8-8-56.
Close to three-quarter time, Corns. Chad Corns, a late withdrawal yesterday from this Port Adelaide side. Polton got it at half-back for the power. Ran a long way. Now uses Schofield. Intent on handballing. Wilson. The power run out of time. Well, a great performance from Melbourne in that third quarter. The power kicked the opening 2 goals to narrow the margin to just 8 points. But Melbourne responded, kicking 4 of the next 5 goals in that term, and at three-quarter time, lead by 30 points.
Yeah, totally dominant that quarter. The D's, some more worrying signs for Port. They'll need to regroup, and Melbourne will be supremely confident going into this last quarter.
Well, some problems there for Phil Reid, not happy with the umpire. Plenty to come in the last quarter from the MCG. Well, they're going with Lade out of the goal square, down with Sean Burgoyne. Margin is 30 points. Port Adelaide, the biggest margin in their history they've ever come from behind from at three-quarter time is 15 points. So that doesn't give them much encouragement, but we know they are a class side, even without some of their stars. Well, 15 points behind Sydney a few years ago at Amy Stadium and got back to win. And in Melbourne, the most they've ever come from behind at three-quarter time is 12 points against the Western Bulldogs back in '97. Here's Godfrey.
I've enjoyed watching the ruck contest today too, because more often than not, particularly at the centre bounces, both ruckmen just going straight at each other.
Treadray coming in to lend a hand that time. Got it down again, Ebert involved. But the Demons getting plenty of support from their fans. Who are suddenly looking at going 3-1 after the opening 4 rounds, after their terrible start to the season. It's been a good result. Ebert showed plenty today, into full forward. Burgoyne just couldn't quite pluck it down. Bruce, lightning hands though, out to Burgoyne. Peter Burgoyne, he misses, and it's 29 points the difference.
Without harping on the point, I'd love to see Treadray almost one out inside attacking 50, coming almost from the goal square, because the classic example there, the kick forward, Sean Burgoyne and Lade had to do battle. I would have much preferred Treadray to be in that contest. He wasn't. Godfrey. Rivers just ambles after the football. Pressure from Wilson. Broadbridge just on the ground, runs to full measure. From the logo, thumps it long, Neitz. Just floated to David Neitz.
It's a good mark, though.
And what an opportunity here for David Neitz. He kicked a couple of goals in the third term. He has 3 goals, 4 for the afternoon. This, you would think, would almost be enough. From 50. Oh, it's a fantastic kick. Melbourne off to a flying start in this final term, margin out to 35 points, and I think, Steve, the Power are going to find it very hard to come back from this situation.
Well, they are. Broadbridge's intention was always to go long. Neitz always knew that. He had basically started from the goal square, had the space to lead up into, and he judged that mark to perfection, and that kick was equally as good.
Troy Broadbridge making the most of his opportunity. Mark Williams, I feel like disconsolate at the moment. His team now trailing by 35 points. Jeff White carrying the ruck duties on his own for the Demons for the whole day. Carr applying the tackle. Corns. Schofield off the right boot into Brogan, who wanted to play on. Laid it off and then got it back from Ebert. Brogan, Cassisi into the square. Lade got the height advantage on Rivers. Rivers used the body well. Lade got a boot to it, but behind only.
I've liked Rivers' game today. He hasn't had a lot of possessions, but he's just kept his man nullified and really done a fantastic defensive job.
Uze a little eager to kick the ball back in. Umpire hadn't finished waving the flag. That's what confronts him. Playing on the last line of defence, Adam Uze. Delivers to Godfrey. Chips out wide. Green did very well. Keep the ball moving. Broadbridge did well to also come and meet it. Brad Green, 27 possessions, 6 marks, 2 goals, 1. The best player on the ground. If he can finish off in this final quarter. White, Thompson. Clever kick around the body. Robertson got rid of Wilson. Needs support. Thompson. Good chase though by Peter Burgoyne. Tried to back out of the pack and left the ball behind. Davey got it to McDonald. Hoists it high inside attacking 50. Neats again. Well, the pack just parted like the Red Sea. And Neats just floated through. And here's another opportunity. After a relatively quiet first half, and he just scored 1 goal. Chance to kick goal number 5. He's got 4 goals for, and he's doing at one end what Treadrate should be doing at the other. From inside 40 metres, he's kicked 5. Well, the lead, Steve, narrowed to 40 points. And no one wanted to go for it.
Well, it just hung there, the ball hung in the air, and Neats just read it better than anyone else. Quite possible that he could kick a fair bag today.
Melbourne fans delighted. 40 points the margin. Would you have made the move? You touched on it near the start of the game, Michael, about David Neats and Bishop being on him.
Well, I was just surprised at the outset that Wakeland didn't have the job, and Neats created some early havoc.
Having said that,
the move wasn't made.
Bishop's been under a fair bit of pressure.
Oh, absolutely.
The ball up the other end, they really haven't been able to put any pressure up the other end. So Bishop has really done a fair job. I know he's kicked 5, Neats, but he's done a fair job.
Move's been made finally. McDonald goes long to full forward. Oh, now Bishop's other opponent, Ben Holland, takes the mark. He's having one of those halves.
Ben Holland, 3 marks, 8 possessions and a goal, and his goal was the first of the match at the 7-minute mark of the first term.
Who wants to be a defender?
He went back at one stage during the game, but he's got such an important role to play in their forward structure. Ben Holland converts, and the Demons are running away with this.
Yes, and we just see David Neats. He led out to the right on screen. Holland goes the other way. The focus was on David Neats, but Holland stands up here, takes the grab, and he's a very happy man.
Well, Michael, Mark Williams was adamant yesterday that Port Adelaide shouldn't have been favourites for this game. He's been proven right.
He certainly has. 46 points the lead to Melbourne, 29 scoring shots to 18. Brogan. Kingsley, little fumble, allows McDonald in. Godfrey couldn't quite handle the hot football. Burgoyne has been very good for the power, got it to Schofield. Ebert, who's been the shining light on the forward line for Port Adelaide. Drives it long to the goal square, Lade in front, and did he hold on to it? Yes, he's been paid, Brendan Lade. Pretty quiet afternoon. That's just his 2nd mark. Come in for possession number 6.
Gee, you've got to like the look of Ebert, don't you? He's kicked 2 goals, 2 today, had 12 possessions, 6 marks. He delivered that one in to Lade.
And that's the Lade of Mark's mate. Sorry, Lade's mark, I should say.
Sean Burgoyne, it's been pretty quiet, just the 4 possessions this afternoon. Brendan Lane to add some respectability to a fairly bleak scoreboard for the Power. He pops it through. Margin back to 40 points. And we've talked about it. Brendan Lade has played the bulk of the game, Steve, out of the goal square and really hasn't done enough.
Well, probably he hasn't done enough, but certainly better delivery on that occasion. It was more so to the top of the square. Lade was able to take the mark, but too few contributors up forward for Port.
Sean Burgoyne getting some treatment down there. Andy, can you spot what's the problem with him?
Yeah, it's the left collarbone, top of the shoulder, Hutto. It's getting worse for Port down here now.
Well, they've got 6 players out of this lineup. We know that Franco's a long-term injury, and James and Pickett also out for extensive periods, although James is not too far away from returning. As Wheatley gets a fist to that one, and Melbourne fans will just be delighted in his return this year after some injury problems and form problems. And he's had a great game today. He's had 15 possessions. His first half was particularly good. But getting back to Port, Dew and Corns, of course, out for this match, and Primus, who's another long-term one. So what do you read into their performance today, Steve? Port Power.
Oh, I think that Mark Williams will be pretty disappointed with the way they've gone, but they have got injury problems.
Fight continues in the Port Adelaide forward line, which is a bit more interesting than the play at the moment because Melbourne are controlling that.
Bishop unloaded. Godfrey. The outpointed Brogan there. Green and Wanganeen meanwhile sort each other out. Chance for White. All by himself. Little chip around the corner. Holland comes to meet it. Get a handball off to Davey. Numbers with the power. Now it's with the Demons. McDonald, who's been very good, particularly in the second half. Acting out of the centre square. Now there's a free kick. And it'll go to Port Adelaide against Thompson. I suspect for an illegal shepherd. Demons dominating the contested possessions in this final term. Schofield chips to Brogan. And Sting got out of this game. Chips further afield. Kingsley. Oh, Godfrey came hard. Advantage called. Corns to Treadray. We saw that a little bit early in the game, but not for a long time. Bolton's been paid the mark. Melbourne fans don't like it. Was it there, Steve?
Well, it's one of those 50-50 ones. They get paid sometimes, got control. That's the early collision.
And this is the kick coming from Treadray, just wheeled onto the left boot and
Does Holland get there in time?
Oh.
Probably not.
Perhaps a little lucky. From 35 metres, he kicks and misses. Kingsley just receiving some treatment after the clash with Godfrey.
What about the Demons then? We start to take them seriously as far as the season's concerned?
We saw them the first game of the year and they were very disappointing against the Hawks, but that day Neitz was injured. They didn't have Cameron Bruce, and well, they've certainly found a bit of form and a bit of confidence. I think with Holland up forward helping Neitz out, and they've got Travis Johnson to still come back into this team. The win today has been a real good one for the Melbourne Footy Club.
The thing that's impressed me the most about Melbourne is the way they move the ball. They move it quickly and directly, and there's some other sides in the competition that if they are able to play like this would be far more effective.
And that was one of their real strengths, I think, when they made the finals a couple of years ago, when they carried the ball through the middle of the ground. They ran it, they got it in nice and quickly. They didn't do that last year, but there's signs so far this year that they've got back to that game plan.
White and Brogan. Wanganeen now playing on Cameron Bruce. This clearance. Broadbridge over the top. McDonald. Corns quick with the hands. Carr. Now Broadbridge doing well. Left it behind. Thompson was there. Well chopped off by Cochrane. Goes to Schofield. Had nowhere to head, so he had to wheel around, do the full 360. It was good play as it turned out. Poulton to Wanganeen. Back to Poulton. Treadray's deep, but he swings it into Brogan instead. 55 from goal. Brogan takes them on. Big Dean Brogan. Handballed it backwards. Cassisi, flying shot into the square. Treadray laid. Thurston's laid. on top of it.
They've done a good job, though, the Melbourne defenders. Not too many big names down there. You've got Wheatley, you've got Lynch. Bizzle had a fantastic first quarter, but they just go out there and do their job.
White trying to concede it behind. Thurston gets it back in. Here's Ebert. Around the corner, Corn stands underneath it. Green forced to spoil. Tredray, Brogan, Brown, well done. Green off his wrong boot. And he gets the ball over the line. It's always great to watch classy left footers try and kick off their right foot, isn't it?
Very rarely do they have to kick on their right foot, left footers. They have that ability to swing on their natural foot.
That equals his personal best in terms of possessions in a game. 29 for the day from Brad Green.
Great ruck work from Lade. Chance for Ebert. Oh, bounce favours Bruce and he's away. And so are Melbourne. Godfrey running through the midfield. Direct and long inside attacking 50. Wakeland from the back at the fall. McDonald tries to get it to Neitz. Can he pick it up? David Neitz will kick another one. He's kicked 6. And Steve, we spoke about it just a few moments ago. The movement of the football, direct, long and efficient, giving the forwards every possible opportunity. And David Neitz has been the benefactor in the second half. He had 1 goal to half time. He's kicked 5 in this second half.
And we talk about the run through the middle, the carrying the ball through the middle, the hard running, get it in nice and quickly. It will put opposition defenders under enormous pressure. Exactly what Melbourne have done in the second half of this game.
.45 points the margin. Brad Green having a rest. He would be exhausted after his day. 29 possessions, 2 goals, 1. David Neitz, 6 goals, 4. Tredray has certainly worked hard, but has been nowhere near as effective. And that one went higher than it went in distance. Thurston's out on the full.
And I reckon he could have done that if he tried.
Plenty of hang time. Here's Paul Wheatley. (16-14 to 9-11). Emphatic victory coming up for the Demons. Up to the wing. Jeff White takes his 6th mark for the day to Uze. Sets up Broadbridge. He had some support though. Wheatley. Good shepherding from Rivers. And they managed to work it through the middle. Walsh loves to run and create. Uze off the left. Thought about going for home, but instead guided to Neitz, who took it just inside the line. And he gets another chance to add to his 6 goals, 4.
I was just watching David Neitz there. He knew exactly where to run as soon as Adam Uze had that ball.
Well, he could pass off, but when you're a full forward and you've kicked 6-4, I guess you're excused for having one shot like that.
Margin 46 points. Demons by 4. At quarter time, 19 at the long break, and by 30 at 3/4 time. So they've methodically won every quarter.
20,000 the attendance. So I think the Demons would be pretty happy with that.
Kingsley, who's tried hard for the power, had 19 possessions. Big pack of players. Well, good mark taken by Lade. Brogan's done most of the ruck work this afternoon for the power. But when given his opportunity, Lade has been sensational, particularly in the centre bounces. Off a step. Looking. Oh, for Ebert. That's a big leap. Brett Ebert certainly showed some glimpses, some brilliance this afternoon. Long inside attacking 50. Salopek at the back, but in front, good strong positioning and good strong mark taken by Wheatley. He's got runners in Rigoni. It takes a couple of steps. Loose player on the wing. Holland just chips dangerously towards White, and Lade read it very well. Off the cart. Now Kane Corns. Chips it towards half forward. Cassisi slipped over, Brown didn't. Handball off to Broadbridge. Whelan making position at half forward. He's got plenty of time. Gets a shepherd from Robertson. Kick towards Bruce. They're doing it comfortably now, Steve.
Yeah, you have a look at the way that ball was taken into Bruce, and you take it back to the other end. The Power just have struggled to find options across that half-forward line. And it really has been the story all day.
17 possessions. And 3 goals to Cameron Bruce. Can he make it 4? Gee, wobbly old kick. Straight into the arms. Down there, beautifully played by Chaplin. Ebert again, sandwiched in between 2 Melbourne players. On with it quickly. Good running by Wilson, but Brown came up to meet him. Well played. Now Broadbridge has got a task. He did it brilliantly. Bruce wants to handball. Casual little bounce, then handball to himself. Shall we count that as a stat? McDonald taken high. He'll get the free kick on the wing. Melbourne just toying with Port Adelaide at the moment. Wheatley, normally a powerful kick inside attacking 50. Neats at the back, got hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Chance at ground level for the Power. Bolton uses Lade, who uses Peter Burgoyne. And here's another opportunity for the Power.
Through the middle. Thurstons gives it off. Salopek back to Treadray, back to Thurstons. To full forward, too much on the kick. Rivers read it beautifully.
Been their downfall, hasn't it? Failed to find forward options.
And a bit of angst amongst a couple of the Port players. Weren't too happy with the delivery. As Wheatley goes wide for Jeff White. His 16th possession. Here's a good one under the wing. Godfrey it is now streaming forward. Holland diving for the slips catch. And the ball out of bounds. 6 minutes remaining. The Demons in complete control. 16-15 to 9-11. Neats with 6. Bruce with 3. 2 each to Holland and Green. And for Port Adelaide, the only multiples, Ebert and Treadray with 2 each. Nathan Brown coming off the ground for Melbourne, hence the applause. As Bruce tries again. Oh, wonderful pass. Straight onto the chest of Miller.
Well, I think it might come back for a push in the back.
So the umpire determining there that Bruce is a better shot at goal than Miller, is he?
No, just that he managed to, well, he got the push just before he kicked the football. So Cameron Bruce, chance to kick goal number 4.
Well, as we mentioned, he didn't play in the opening round, and he's such an important player in this Melbourne lineup. He's had a wonderful day, and so have all the Demons. There's another one. (17-15, 117 to 9-11-65). There's the push.
Margin 52 points as we look at the push on Bruce. It's interesting, Steve, that we pay advantage right around the ground. Miller was in a much better position than Bruce, yet there was no advantage call.
Very good point, that, Mike.
Thank you, Stephen. Lade back in the centre, gets it out to Peter Burgoyne, who's tried very hard all afternoon. Well done by Reid, who just hacks it towards the boundary line under pressure and achieves his objective, much to the delight of the Melbourne fans.
Yeah, they've been very good today. Melbourne, their defensive skills have been spot on when under pressure. They've stuck to their basics.
Lade, front position, takes it out, hand off to Carr. Gee, that's a great tackle on Marnie. Lade trying to back out of the pack, left the football behind, so a bounce. Josh Carr. Now I suspect that'll be Godfrey at the base of that pack, is it? No, James McDonald. Godfrey and Carr. What a matchup that is. White and Lade again. Lade will get a free kick. Between wing and half forward. Just drives it long. Treadray the target. Bishop. Big leap at the fall. Ebert tries to keep it in. And Wheatley just cleverly was leaning over the boundary line and was taken over. So a boundary thrown in the forward pocket for the Power.
We've gone beyond the 25-minute mark, so not long to go. Holland doing the ruck work. Lade much more effective. Thurston's back for Peter Burgoyne from a standing start. He's a wonderfully skilled player, and he makes no mistake. "30 possessions for the day for Peter Burgoyne and 2 goals won."
Yes, and we just see Lade just push Holland underneath the ball. Peter Burgoyne been a very hard trier all day. The 2 goals for the day. Can hold his head up high. One of the few players for Port.
Chance again for Ebert. Now in the centre square, Peter Burgoyne, looping handball, gets the cane corns. Little kick around the body. Walsh did well to come to meet the football. Godfrey links with Davey. Wants his left side as Aaron Davey and chips cleverly. McDonald over. Flow beautifully done by Walsh. Left foot pass was poor. Kingsley in the way. Loose player out wide, Thurston's. Chips over the top. Door dangerous kick. Rivers read it superbly.
That was a poor kick, but that's where they've really fallen down all day across their half forward line. They've averaged actually this season 56 entries inside their forward 50. Today they're down to 42.
And Jared Rivers has been impressive again this afternoon in defence for the Demons. Big fist coming from Lade. Now Rigoni. Salopek has hold of him, and Rigoni just sees it over. Melbourne dominating the marks this afternoon. Boundary throw in. Comes to the back. McDonald has been very good in the second half. Godfrey just scrambles it forward. Numbers with the power. Polton, U-turn. Kingsley just was able to escape the Thompson tackle and delivered it very poorly to Green, who says no, hold on boys. Brad Green, chip over the top. McDonald. Now he's been called to play on McDonald, so wheels around onto the right boot. Long inside attacking 50, Needs over the top. Good mark taken by Chaplin. Oh, he's kick smothered by Bruce. Here's another chance for Melbourne. Fighting hard, Chaplin. Now Davey in the pocket, snapping goal. Miller marks. Oh, he dropped it. I reckon it was going through. The right grin from Brad Miller. Hard to see from our angle, but I wonder whether the Davey kick was going through. Let's have a look at it.
Oh,
it was an amazing snap. No, perhaps not.
Hard to tell.
Probably should have taken the mark. It's always a difficult one for players. Should they go for it, or should they let it go through?
Good break here for Port. Wanganeen up to half forward. Treadray the target. Marks it. There's an open square. Decides to pass instead. Carr versus Rivers, who looks a real goer. Tries to take it to the line. Cassisi crunched by Green.
How's that for a tackle?
Free kick. Right in front of the very vocal Melbourne members. Let's have a look at the incident from another angle. Perhaps a high tackle. Nothing more. Thurston's and Treadray will be the targets. It drops a bit short. Rivers in front again. And Melbourne have been crying out for key defenders in the past few years. And young Jared Rivers Certainly looks like he'll be able to stand up. James McDonald picks out Walsh. Cross half back. He's got Broadbridge running free. Takes a while to get hold of it. And then his kick did the job. He gets it back from Bruce, and off his right boot he delivers for Miller. Did he take the mark? No, he didn't. Play on was the call. Everyone had stopped, and the umpire forced to bounce it. Brad Miller has a laugh. He's had a couple of interesting moments. Needs down to Davey. Could have been time for one more bit of excitement from Aaron Davey. Lay doing the ruck work and doing it well. Beautiful mark from Uze. He's had a much better second half.
Yeah, he's worked his way into the game.
He's going to end up with 19 possessions. McDonald lets fly to full forward. Meets from the front. Almost dragged it down. Scotty Thompson, as easy as you like. Caps off the day for the Demons. And what a day it's been.
Spectacular mark by Uze as we watch it again in from the side. Great finish from Thompson.
And this is the beauty of David Neitz, just bringing the ball to the front of the pack. Thompson does the rest.
Margin 53 points in favour of the Demons. And now 3-1 as are Port Adelaide. Holland doing a bit of ruck work with Jeff White, a bit of a break. Rugoni, Green. Well, it's been an emphatic display by Melbourne. They kicked the opening 4 goals of the match in an exciting style. And Port Adelaide were able to respond, kicking the next 4. The Demons by 4 points at quarter time. They led by 19 at halftime after they kicked 3-6 to 1-3 in the second term. They really got on top in the third quarter, 4-7 to 3-2. They led by 5 goals at three-quarter time and then really pushed home their advantage and won out easy winners, convincing winners by 53 points. Let's go down to Andrew Marr.
Thanks very much, Michael. Brad Green, a career best 31 possession game. How did that feel?
Yeah, no, it's just amazing. You know, we set ourselves for this game all week. 6-day turnaround and, you know, come out and beat Port Adelaide, who's on top, is a great credit to the boys.
What does that tell the rest of us about your team?
Yeah, I think the media, you know, you guys wrote us off early and, you know, we're just out to prove people wrong.
When you're playing in the midfield, you're confirming yourself as a midfielder every week and you're streaming forward and seeing David Neitz up there. It must be a magnificent target to straighten you blokes up.
Oh, you know, Neitz fantastic. He's our skipper, he's our leader, and, you know, he's just fantastic to look up and kick it down to him.
And just tell us a little bit about Jared Rivers. He's getting better every week. He was sensational today.
He's amazing. It's his second year and, you know, he's only going to get better.
Well, mate, we're all true believers now. Well done. Back to you, lads.
Yes, Brad Green. What a performance from Brad Green this afternoon. 31 possessions, 7 marks and 2 goals won. Clearly best on the ground.
Yes, and it was always a bit of a question mark about Brad Green's fitness, but having watched today, he certainly ran all day and really did set up this Melbourne win. And we just see the Melbourne players there. They would be delighted with the way they went today. And Melbourne supporters should also. It's not a started lineup, this Melbourne team, but certainly the way it did gel together today, they've got a very bright future and really should be looking forward to this season.
Yeah, so David Neitz, one of the stars. 6 goals, 4 for the captain. 5 of those goals coming in the second half. A great win by the Demons. They defeated the Power by 53 points. Back shortly to wrap up.
The team we love, the team of the red and the blue. every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you.